Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. We'll be right back to the show. But before we do, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, factormeals.com, where if you go to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50, you can get 50% off your first order. That's factormeals.com/unbroken50. If you're like me and you are a person who is busy trying to create a life, heal, work on their health, wealth, and relationships, and not to mention deal with the day-to-days of normal life, you do not have time to be going to the grocery store and trying to figure out what you're going to cook every single day of the week. In fact, one time I did the math and I realized I was spending over 15 hours a week at the grocery store and cooking. When I added Factor, I got to use that time for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my community, and for my business. And so if you're in the place where you need some more support in the kitchen, head to factormeals.com/unbroken50 and use the code unbroken50 to get 50% off. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of life coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program. Hey, good morning, my friends. Having morning coffee. It's been a while since I've done this with you guys. Generally speaking, I've reserved doing the morning coffee conversations when I'm traveling. And I had actually planned on having morning coffee with you this morning, traveling, but my flight got canceled. And so I'm sitting here home and thinking about this idea we have about time. And what I mean by that is, for us, many of us as trauma survivors or people who have had traumatic experiences, the thing that we know and we associate with when things do not go our way or as planned, which would probably be a better way to phrase it right now, we can get into a dissociative state. And that has historically been the thing that happens to me is I'll be like, oh, I had this game plan, I had this framework, and suddenly because something has shifted, I'm now dysregulated. I'm into that sympathetic nervous system. My adrenaline's pumping. And it might even be like a little bit. And I'll be like, oh, holy crap, my life is upside down and completely a travesty. And that came to me in realization years ago that as I traveled the world, living in all the different countries that I lived in, I discovered that when I would have something in my day interrupted, it would actually ruin my day. And that's because I started to make meaning of all of the circumstances of my day, of my life, and I would leverage those in a way that I would say, oh, well, everything's obviously ruined. So what's the point? That is catastrophizing. And a lot of us do that. I mean, I know that I'm not the only one. And a lot of catastrophizing comes because the unfortunate truth is we've been set up for failure so many times through the experiences of our youth that we just kind of look at what happens in our life and go, well, shit, I guess this is what was supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be in pain and suffering and hurt and neglect. And so we often wait, for lack of a better term, for the other shoe to drop. And we say, well, I guess this is what it was supposed to be. Of course, this would happen to me. And so this morning, I'm supposed to be on a flight literally right now, going to one of my friends' weddings on the other side of the country. And I get an email at 2:30 in the morning that the flight is canceled. Yeah, I mean, you guys know how airlines do. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just let you know while you're sleeping. And if I really thought about this today, and especially before I popped on here, that in the past, that would have totally pissed me off, completely ruined my day, freaked me out like no other, and would have put me in this situation where not only the day would have been ruined, but my weekend would have been ruined, probably the week, and then even the month. Like I can go and trace this happening many, many times in my life.
Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Just want to take a moment and invite you to be my guest at Think Unbroken Conference this November. That's right. Think Unbroken is hosting our Unbroken Con for free. It's 5 days of trauma transformation information with myself, special guests, and even some of the leading experts in trauma education from around the world. For 5 days, we're going to jump into what it means to actually take the steps to be unbroken. All you have to do is register for free at unbrokencon.com. That's unbrokencon.com. That's right. 5 days of trauma transformation information with me, special guests, and some of the world's leading trauma trained experts for free for 5 days this November. More details to come. But in the meantime, go to unbrokencon.com to register. And I'll see you there.
And so instead, this morning when I wake up early, by the way, because it's a cross-country flight, I look at the email and I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And I realized one of the things that's incredibly important for us as warriors, as people on this journey, is that the meaning we make of the things that happen in our life carry more weight than most of the things that happen in our life. We will always find what we're seeking. Every single thing that you do in your life, you can find meaning behind it. Everything that happens to you, you can find meaning behind it. And if you want to look at something and say, oh, this is the worst case scenario, you will always find supporting evidence for this. And so what I started thinking about, and probably at a deeper level now more than ever, is, well, what happens if I simply
don't resist the truth? Think about that for a second. What if I don't resist the truth? What if I just allow the truth to be what it is, and that's simply the truth? That doesn't make it inherently good or bad. It just makes it what it is. You've probably heard the adage before, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And if that applies to the actions that you take, well, then that also would in turn apply to the things that happen in your life. So if we sit and we look to make meaning in negative ways, that's exactly what's going to happen. We will find it. And so whether it's time or relationships or career or friendships or anything, we decide the outcome of that. Just the other day, one of my friends texted me something and I read it and I thought to myself, for a moment, I was like, what does this mean? Like, what is their purpose behind sending me this message? Like, do they know who I really am? Are they paying attention? Do they care about this relationship? Do they care about this friendship? Do they care about the things that we do or what we're planning to get? And it dawned on me, I was like, dude, you are catastrophizing. You are taking this one simple text and turning it into something so freaking astronomically big that you could potentially implode this friendship. And I paused. And this is the most important thing I teach my clients. You have to pause. You have to, in the moments when you feel like you are about to hit a wall on whatever it is, when you are in this place and your nervous system is all over the place, you can't think straight, you got to hit the pause button. And just remember, I think about this. Most of the time, 99.999% of the time, people are not out to get you. Your friends aren't out to get you. Your partner's not. Your business associates aren't. Your children aren't. Nobody's out to get you, right? Now, there's the 0.0001% chance that could be plausible. Fine, whatever. But knowing that and looking at the actions and the behaviors of people, one of the things that I've truly just come to understand and realize about the world and society is that for many of us, we just aren't aware. Like, we're not actually really paying attention. We're not focused. We're not in our body. We're dissociated. I mean, obviously the irony of listening to a podcast or watching a YouTube video or, being on a live is that you're on social, right? You're consuming content. And one of the things that you really have to pay attention to is making sure that you're paying attention, continuing to show up for yourself, going through the process, doing the things, especially when you get interrupted. You know this as well as I do. Like, today or tomorrow or yesterday, there is something that is going to happen that's going to interrupt your day. It's going to interrupt your process. Perfect example. Last night, I was on a walk. It was a beautiful evening. Suddenly, it just started raining out of the blue. And the meaning that you make of that, you can look at that and go, oh, my life is so bad. Of course, it's going to rain on me. What luck. Or you can look at it and go, oh, wow, this is really cool. It's raining right now. Everything that we do has meaning to it. Everything we decide has meaning to it. You have to be able to really remove yourself from the catastrophizing, from the ideations, from the worst case scenarios, because chances are, and I'm not saying this is always true, but for the majority of the time, chances are whatever you think is the terrible thing that is happening is not actually that. Right. And if you come from a traumatic background, one of the things that's really difficult is being willing to sit in that truth. Right. Especially if you come from abuse, from suffering, from neglect, from enmeshment, from grooming, everything's worst case. If you have parents, like my parents were fucking crazy, like legit, and everything was chaos all the time. And when everything is chaos all the time, we learn to always look for chaos. This is the same way you end up in relationships that are volatile, where you end up in jobs that people don't take care of you, when you end up even things like what I used to do in my 20s, I would not pay my bills. And the bill collectors would be calling, or my sister would call me. She'd be like, dude, why are the bill collectors calling me? These things happen because we put ourselves in the worst case scenario because it's known. And so when you're in this thing about catastrophizing and looking for the worst case, what I would argue is that one of the most important things that you could do is when something, let's just call it something bad, right? Well, and you're like, something bad has happened, whatever that means for you, bad is different for everybody. Just pausing and going, okay, wait a second. Is there a silver lining here? Is there something here that is a lesson to be learned that I can carry with me, that I can bring into my day-to-day life, that I can assess for the future? And more so, if something is good, and this is where it gets really tricky, is when it's good, allowing that. Can you allow the good to exist? Can you allow that place in which you give yourself permission to enjoy, to let it be, to not fight it, to not say, oh, this is good, so I know that the other shoe is going to drop and bad is around the corner? We will find what we're looking for. It is always there. It was always right there. And if you want to find the bad, you will find it. If you want to find the good, you will find it. But one of the things you have to do is be cognizant of that. And this is one of the things we're going to go into during Unbroken Conference. So if you haven't registered, Think Unbroken Conference, when we do it live, is absolutely free. If you go to unbrokencon.com, that's unbrokencon.com. So if you go to unbrokencon.com, you can register for free. We have not announced the actual dates. We have not announced the actual speakers. We have not announced the giveaways. We've announced nothing. That stuff is coming, but there's going to be awesome surprises for the people who register early. I'll tell you that much. Behind the scenes, we've already got 5 speakers on board who are life changers, world changers. I mean, people with gigantic followings and beautiful messages. And of course, I'll be there speaking myself. It's virtual. It's free. If you're watching live, you can always get the replays and all that. We'll talk about that stuff later. But if you haven't registered, go to unbrokencon.com.
Hey, Unbroken Nation, we'll be right back to the show, but I wanted to let you know that you can grab a copy of my first book, Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma, for free. If you go to book.thinkunbroken.com, you can download the PDF ebook version of the book and get everything that I know about the baseline of healing trauma for free, downloaded to your email right now. Just go to book.thinkunbroken.com to download your copy of Think Unbroken, Understanding and Overcoming Childhood Trauma for a PDF for your phone. Again, that is book.thinkunbroken.com.
And so as you're going through and you're looking at your life and the good things are happening and you're like, oh, well, do I deserve good? Should I have good? Is good for me? It's like, yes. Trauma survivors, we say this all the time. I thrive in chaos. Why would you want that? Ask yourself that question. I know I bring this up a lot, but seriously, ask yourself, why would you want to thrive in chaos? That's so dumb. If you really break it down and you really think about it, why would you not want to thrive in joy and love and happiness, companionship, admiration, abundance? Because we're always looking for meaning. It could be significance. It could be creativity. There's a million different things that we're seeking in those moments. But ultimately, when we pause and we ask ourselves, what is it? Seriously, what is it that's happening? What is the thing that I want, need, desire? And you will allow yourself to have it. That's life-changing, right? It's life-changing when you don't always look for the worst possible thing that's happening. You could win the lottery, right? And then you can find a million reasons why it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you. You could be in the best relationship of your life and you could be looking for all of the little tiny signs in your life, in the moments, in the passings that go, oh, this is not going to work. Whatever you seek, you will find. I mean, that's just the truth of life. I've done it so many times. It's funny. I was recording a podcast with Amy Porterfield the other day. If you don't know Amy, Amy's an online marketer. I love her dearly. She's a great friend. Um, but before the recording, her and I were joking, and I was like, I'm going to put my phone on silent mode. And she goes, yeah, me too. And I go, well, something's probably going to beep. Like, just putting that into the universe. And sure enough, in the middle of the recording, beep, there it is. That happens. The things that we think of, that we believe, that we put our effort and energy to will come to pass, whether good or bad. Where you focus your energy, where you focus your attention will come to fruition. I've seen it happen time and time again in my life and friends' lives and the lives of my clients and the people I coach, the people who listen to the Think Unbroken podcast. Like, it happens. And if you are always looking for the negative, which to some extent is built into you through the grooming that you experienced in childhood, through the enmeshment of negativity, through the people that didn't take care of you the way that you were supposed to be taken care of. Like, there is some truth in that. And I think that's one of the things that people have to recognize and understand is like, yeah, maybe one of the reasons why I think and look at life through a negative scope is because everyone around me was always negative. My mom was so negative all the time about everything, which, realistically, I'll be honest with you, most drug addicts and alcoholics are. It is what it is. My grandmother, however, was the most negative person I've ever met. Ever. Like, nothing was ever positive for her. Even if it was good, she would find the bad. Think about that. You have people in your life that are like that. You might be that person. That's why self-awareness is everything here. If you're always finding the negative, guys, I cannot express this enough. What you seek, you will find. And look, I'm not Captain Optimist over here. You guys know this. I've said this before. I am a realist. I just simply look at life through the scope of, has anyone done the thing that I'm trying to do? And if so, that means I can do it too. But most people look at the things and they go, I can never have that. That's not for me. I don't deserve that. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable enough. And that thought pattern, that looping that we get stuck into, that is ingrained in us from our youth, is the thing that is keeping us stuck. And the only way you get unstuck is by acknowledging the truth of that, looking at it and go, oh, wait, maybe I am negative. Maybe I am always looking for the bad. Maybe I am stuck in chaos. And the truth is, and this is what's hard and most people don't want to hear, is that the truth of those negative thought patterns, these negative ideations, the catastrophizing, bringing awareness to the places that you are stuck is the singular thing that's going to get you unstuck. And so now I'm looking at this as opportunity. And maybe you can call it optimism. Sure. I get that. I think some people might go that way, but I look at it as opportunity. I look at this morning, I wake up, I have to get out of the door at an ungodly hour to get on a flight to go 8 hours. And I get the email in the middle of the night, your flight's canceled. But guess what? We can put you on another flight tomorrow. Well, that doesn't do me any good because I'm going to a wedding today. So what do? Well, first and foremost, I recognize one of the really important aspects of life. And Tony Robbins taught me this. Life is happening for you. It is not happening to you. And so I thought to myself, well, what option does this now give me? What is happening for me through this? Well, a couple of things. One, I can have morning coffee with you guys, something I haven't done in a while. Two, I can get into my normal routine. One of the things about waking up at the ungodly hour I had to get up is that you don't get into your morning routine. So I thought to myself, oh, perfect. Now I can get into my morning routine, get myself regulated, and get back to center. Three, I can go have breakfast with one of my friends. Perfect. Great. Now I can go and do that too. They happen to be awake. We're going to do that here in just a minute. 4, I don't have to, I'm just looking for positive things here, right? 4, I don't have to buy an airport meal at my layover, which is going to cost like $8 million and be disgusting because honestly, I never have good airport food. And I can eat, I can cook for myself, put clean food in my body, be fueled for the flight. And then the other thing that I was thinking about is, I can go to the sauna this afternoon and do a little bit of detoxing before this trip because I'm going to be gone from now until the 11th. So basically, I guess that's 8 days, 9 days at this point. My point in telling you guys this is very simple. It was not that long ago where something like this would happen. I'd get the email, the flight's canceled, and it would just send me spinning. Chaos. Oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. This always happens to me. Why is my life always so bad? No wonder this always happens. Blah, 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 blah. That kind of language. And that language is dangerous. And that language is detrimental. And that language keeps you stuck. And that's why I tell you guys, awareness truly is, at the end of the day, everything. So if you can be more aware and you can bring yourself to understanding, there's often a silver lining. And look, I'm not the ultimate optimist. I'm just not. That's not how I operate. I catastrophize first, period. But I know that about myself. And ultimately, this journey is that. Know thyself. Know who you are. Be honest about that. Because I can be honest that even for myself, right, what I've built in my life, always looking at it through this scope of catastrophe, I go, wait a second, is that true? Or is my brain attempting to make meaning of things that are untrue so that I can validate my belief about whether or not I am worthy of having something? And my friends, when you start to understand that, then you are really going to watch your life change. And we're going into that in depth at Unbroken Con. So if you have not signed up, go to unbrokencon.com, unbrokencon.com. It's absolutely free to attend live. If you can't attend live, there's an option to get the replays and all that. That stuff we'll get into later. Right now, the only thing that I'm trying to do is let you guys know that it's happening. And so I'm going to finish my morning coffee, something fun that I haven't got to do with you guys in a while. And I'm going to go have breakfast with a friend. All right, my friends, take care of yourself. And until next time, be unbroken. I'll see ya.
We'll be right back to the show, my friend, but I wanted to let you know about our brand new podcast community for Think Unbroken podcast. I know that for so many trauma survivors like myself, for the longest time, I felt alone, like nobody got it, nobody understood, and that I was just going to have to figure this out on my own. But that's not true. And the reason why we created our brand new Think Unbroken Academy podcast community is so that we can bring all the members of the Unbroken Nation together in a place where we can learn, grow, heal, change, and transform our trauma into triumph. I would love to have you come and be a part of the brand new community. Just check out thinkunbrokenacademy.com or click the link in the podcast description. And I cannot wait to see you there, my friend. Again, just head over to thinkunbrokenacademy.com. And until then, be unbroken. Thank you so much for listening to Think Unbroken. Please share this episode with someone who could use it and help us move forward in our mission of ending generational trauma in our lifetime. And if you would, please take 5 seconds to pop on iTunes or Spotify, hit that 5-star, leave a review, and you can also reach out to us on social at Michael Unbroken or at Think Unbroken. And of course, you can check out our YouTube channel at Think Unbroken. Thank you for being a part of Unbroken Nation, my friends, and until next time, be unbroken.
Hey, my friends, we will be right back to the show. But I have a question for you. Are you struggling with the impact of childhood trauma? Well, know that you're not alone. I'm here to let you know that I'm starting a brand new weekly coaching group that includes a year of live coaching, accountability, support, habit and goal setting, and more. I'm starting a waitlist for the group right now, and I'm only taking a handful of people. And I'll let you know that through this personalized coaching, we'll work together to help you understand how your childhood trauma has shaped your beliefs, behaviors, emotions, and will help you create a roadmap for healing and growth. Right now, you can schedule an absolutely free coaching session with me and get put on the wait list if you go to thinkunbroken.com. My friends, it's your time to turn your trauma into triumph, breakdowns into breakthroughs, and become the hero of your own story. And I'm here to support you in doing that. Just go to thinkunbroken.com to register for a free coaching call with me and to get put on the wait list for the brand new weekly coaching program.
What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? These ultra-low net-carb baked goods contain zero sugar, fewer calories, and more protein than the leading brands, and are high in fiber to support gut health. Shop now at hero.co.